Warm temps on the way here on the Eastern Plains. Find out more on my first weather forecast.
And still looking for a job? AI might be able to help you with that. More about this and other news now.
This is News 3 New Mexico, your local source for news, sports, and first weather.
Welcome to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Corbin Shaner.
And I'm Marcos Baltieres. Thank you so much for watching.
A man has died at the Chaves County Detention Center. Over the weekend, deputies from the Chaves County Sheriff's Department were dispatched for a medical incident at the detention center. Personnel from the center called dispatch advising that nursing staff had started CPR on an inmate. The 48-year-old Aaron Buckner was transported to the Eastern New Mexico Medical Center emergency room in serious condition. He later died in the hospital. Mr. Buckner was scheduled for a status hearing later this week, and while the cause of death is not yet public, the investigation is still ongoing.
A woman has been arrested and charged with the death of a 15-month-old child from a fentanyl overdose. On April 1st of this year, New Mexico State Police officers were dispatched to the Presbyterian Hospital in Espanola for an unresponsive 15-month-old child. On arrival, the officers learned that the child was exposed to fentanyl. During the investigation, agents learned that Vijo placed the child on the floor where the exposure occurred while she was cleaning off the bed. Vijo told the agents that she rinsed the child's mouth out, believing that the child had placed the drug in their mouth. After the child was observed becoming unresponsive, they were taken to the hospital and later pronounced dead. During the investigation, Vigil admitted to the agents that she smoked fentanyl and left the burnt foils on the bedroom floor. Agents obtained a search warrant for the residence and narcotics were found. Vigil was arrested and booked into the Rio Arriba County Detention Center, charged with 1 count of child abuse resulting in death and 1 count of possession of a controlled substance. An unvaccinated child in Chaves County has been diagnosed with measles. This marks the 3rd county affected by the growing measles outbreak here in the southwest New Mexico, joining the likes of Lea and Eddy County. As of yesterday, April 8th, there is now 56 total cases of measles in New Mexico this year. For those in Chaves County looking to receive your vaccination, the Chaves County Public Health Office offers daily walk-ins for measles, MEPS, and rubella vaccinations, with no appointments necessary during their regular business hours. For more information, you can call 575-624-6050. The Department of Health reminds you that if you are experiencing a fever and rash, to contact your local doctor or emergency department and first tell them that you are worried that you may have measles. You can also call the New Mexico Department of Health helpline at 1-833-SW-NURSE or 798773, which is staffed with nurses who can help you through the process.
The state of New Mexico received a $137 million appropriation from Congress through the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recover Fund to help support community recovery in areas impacted by the South Fork Fire, Salt Fire, and flooding of Ruidoso, and the severe storm and flooding in Roswell. Now the New Mexico Department of Homeland Security is hosting 2 events to let residents reach out and make comments to the organization. The first of the 2 events took place in Roswell at the Occupational Technology Center in Seminar Room 124. It will take place on April 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. The second event will happen tonight in Ruidoso at the ENMU Ruidoso campus from room 201 from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You do not have to be present to submit a comment into the public record. To get your voice heard, you can email public comments at dhsem.nm.gov or you can call 505-670-4662. And if you want to email your comment, you can do so by mailing it to 3005 South St. Francis Street Drive, Site 1-D number 404 in Santa Fe, New Mexico, zip code 87505. Make sure to act quick. All comments are due on May 4th. Well, that snow we had last Saturday was crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see snow in April. I haven't seen that in a minute.
I know, it's insane. I got some really nice photos, though.
That's cool, that's cool.
I prefer warmer weather. I hope we'll have more of it this week.
Yes, but first, let's take a look at our region radar right now. That consists of the Southwest, so we're looking at Southern California, Phoenix, Arizona, and then we are also looking here in New Mexico. We are seeing clear skies throughout the region, but let's take a look now in New Mexico, eastern New Mexico by that way. We're seeing some cloud cover north of Tucumcari, moving their way into the panhandle of Texas. Clear skies here in Portales and clear skies in Clovis. As we take a look here in Portales for tomorrow, we're seeing a high of 81 with sunny conditions with winds out of the east at 10 miles per hour. And then as we take a look at our allergy report as well, you're seeing grass at low, pollen medium, and ragweed at low. That's all I have for you right now, but stay tuned for my full weather forecast. Back to you, Marcos.
Thank you, Jaden. A few weeks ago, we reported on the Portales Fire Department getting a new fire truck. Well, they just got something else, but it's not a fire truck. The newest addition to the fleet of the Portales Fire Department, Unit 806. This is a Type 1 ambulance, meaning that it's made up of a solid front chassis with the big box added later, allowing for more room for both the patients and personnel. The price tag of $290,000 was paid for by the ARPA funding, which is a type of COVID relief, funding the Portales City leaders voting on spending.
The Southeast New Mexico College, formerly the NMSU Carlsbad campus, invites you to their annual Taste of Culture event. The event will be hosted at the Southeast New Mexico College campus. It will host traditional foods from all walks of life, including Yemen and Peru. The event is open for all community members and will take place 5 to 7 p.m. in the SEMC library. This event promises to bring diverse and unique flavors from all around the world that play a part in creating the community of Carlsbad. For more information, you can contact Samantha Vila at 575-234-9330 or Sky Soto at 575-234-9414. Have you been looking for a new job recently? Well, a recent report from ResumeGenius.com, a site dedicated to helping users get the best chances at landing a job, found that 48% of hiring managers now use AI to screen resumes and job applications. Companies are increasingly using artificial intelligence to sort through applicants before they reach a human recruiter, and that could be good for news for job seekers. New AI tools can understand the content of a resume, meaning they can help spot candidates even if the resumes don't mention certain keywords. While AI can be a useful resource, 47% of hiring managers have reported spotting AI-generated resumes or cover letters, while only 26% have reported seeing none. Coming up after the break, Jaden will have his full weather forecast.
But first, here's a look at today's financial market.
Welcome back to News 3 New Mexico. I'm Jaden Phillips, and I'm here to take you through the weather today. As we take a look here on the west coast of the U.S., we're seeing not much rain or snow, just a little cloud cover in Southern California. But as we take a look on the eastern side of the U.S., we're seeing rain in St. Louis area, a little bit of snow and rain mix in Chicago. And then in the northern states, we are seeing scattered showers throughout most of it. And then as we take a look here in New Mexico, clear skies throughout the whole state. Even here on the eastern plains, Portales looking at clear skies. But as we take a look at our live shot in Roswell, if we can, we are seeing clear skies, sunny conditions, and light traffic right now. That's all we have right now for the Roswell live shot. As we take a look at our current temperatures, we're seeing 76 in Farmington, 77 Gallup, 80 in Albuquerque, Socorro at 84, and then down south you're ranging between 84 and around the 70s. As we take a look here on the eastern plains, though, we're seeing 78 here in Portales, 77 in Clovis, 84 up in Lubbock, 84 in Hobbs, Santa Rosa at 82, and Roswell at 86. As we can take a look at our wind forecast, we're seeing tonight, we're going to see a high of 10 miles per hour at 6 p.m. with northwest winds. And then throughout the evening hours, it's going to be nice and just a little breeze. And then into tomorrow at 7 a.m., you're going to see 5 miles per hour at northwest winds. As we take a look at tonight's lows, you are seeing Farmington at 44, 33 in Gallup, 52 in Albuquerque, Socorro 51, and then down south ranging between the 50s and high 40s. But here on the eastern plains, we're seeing 47 here in Portales, 43 in Clovis, 45 in Tucumcari, up in the Panhandle of Texas in Amarillo, 46, Lubbock at 50, and Roswell at 52. As we take a look at tomorrow's highs, you're seeing 83 in Albuquerque, 79 in Santa Rosa, up in Raton, 73, Farmington at 81, Albuquerque 83, Socorro 87, and then down south, you're almost to the 90s throughout Silver City, Cruces, and Alamogordo, 89 in Carlsbad. But here on the eastern plains, we're going to get to 81 in Portales, 79 in Clovis, also 79 in Tucumcari. Amarillo is going to be at 80, Lubbock at 86, Roswell is going to be at 87. As we take a look at our 7-day forecast, we're going to look first in Roswell with a high tomorrow of 87, and then same on Friday, and then Saturday 96 with sunny conditions. Sunday much the same at 94, and then throughout the week you're going to be seeing 70s, and then Wednesday back to 88 with the low of 52 next Wednesday. As we look in Carlsbad, you're going to see 90 tomorrow as a high, and then Saturday 97 with the low of 58. Sunday a high of 95 with partly cloudy skies at 65, and then 70s Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday at 89 with sunny skies. And then Tucumcari, you're going to see 79 tomorrow. And then the wind picks up throughout the weekend, but 93 as a high on Saturday, 88 as a high with a low of 50. And then we look into Portales. Here we're seeing 81 as a high tomorrow, 82 on Friday, and then 93 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday. And then next week we're going to wrap it up with Wednesday at 84 degrees with a low of 49. So warm temps coming to the eastern plains. How about that?
Yeah, I'm excited. I love 80, 90 degree weather.
Me too.
Yes.
It's my favorite. You know, just being able to not be sweating so much, but also it's kind of cooling at the same time.
Yes, I think we could maybe safe to say spring is officially here on the eastern plains.
Yep. That's what I love about April.
Me too.
That's all we have right now. We'll be right back right here with more news for you. Welcome back. ENMU has a super busy weekend hosting many events, some of which are open to the community to come and join the fun. The annual Eastern in Action takes the cake as the first event this weekend. The event is planned to help many places around Portales as a whole, helping the community in various ways from picking up trash to fixing things.
The second event is a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness put on by the Delta Pi chapter of the Zeta Tau Alpha fraternity. Join the chapter for their annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser at the first United Methodist Church of Portales from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch and then 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. for dinner. Each ticket is $10 and comes with a plate of spaghetti, salad, and toast.
The annual ENMU Jazz Fest is also taking place. It will feature 2 concerts open to the public, one on Friday at 7 p.m. and another on Saturday at 7 p.m. as well. Both are in Buchanan Hall and feature student musicians from ENMU, faculty members, and guest artists like Mr. George Colligan and Dr. Bruce Dalby.
The last event, and probably one of the biggest, is the annual Jax Williamson Lectureship. This year's guest of honor is Darcy Little Badger, a Lippian Apache author who has won a Nebula Award, an Ignite Award, and a Newbery Honor. The entire event is open to the public, and everything besides the Friday lunch is free.
A disease that's becoming increasingly diagnosed in younger adults. And may time when those younger than 50 find out they have colorectal cancer, it's after the disease has progressed to an advanced stage, making it harder to treat.
But there are several tests that could not only detect this cancer, but potentially prevent it, and some can be done at home. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to a gastroenterologist about which colon cancer screening is right for you.
Overall, in the U.S., colorectal cancer cases have declined the past several decades. And while it's still more common for older adults to have the disease, the number of people younger than age 50 being diagnosed continues to rise.
Proportion of colorectal cancer in young adults less than age 50 has actually doubled.
Dr. Jewel Sameter with Mayo Clinic says several tests can detect and potentially prevent colorectal cancer. Most major health organizations now recommend those at average risk of developing the disease to start screening at age 45.
The gold standard here is really colonoscopy, where we take a flexible tube which has a camera on it. It's inserted into your colon.
Since a colonoscopy is more invasive, Sameter says there are 3 others to consider. First, a stool-based test. It can be done at home. The sample is collected and mailed in. But he says this test is expensive, and if it detects something off, you'll still need to undergo a colonoscopy. Next, a CT colonography. He says it uses X-rays to reconstruct 3D images of the colon. It's less invasive than a colonoscopy and doesn't require sedation, but a bowel preparation will still be needed. Finally, a blood test. It looks for small fragments of tumor DNA when colorectal cancer is present, but he says it's less accurate than other screenings.
The one that the patient elects and actually completes, that's the best test for them.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Ultimately, a doctor will help decide which test is right for you based on individual risk factors.
Those at increased risk of developing colorectal cancer include people who have a family history of the disease,
and anyone with an inflammatory bowel disease like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Coming up after the break, Lorenzo will have his sports report for you,
including a look at the NMAA State Powerlifting Championship with the Portales and Lovington sweep of 4A. All of this and more in 90 seconds.
Welcome back, sports fans, to News 3 New Mexico. My name is Lorenzo Solis, and let's take a dive into today's report. Starting off today's report is a pretty heavy topic, because we're talking about powerlifting. The New Mexico State powerlifting meet has come to a close, and while it was a huge turnout, we have the results for this year's champs. Starting off with the girls division, for the 3A champs, we have Brooke Vigil from Clayton in the weight class of 97, and Mariah Bachicha from Texaco in the weight class of 181. On to the 4A champs, Constance Martinez from Lovington in the weight class of 97, Maria Velasco from Portales in the weight class of 105, Baretzi Palma from Goddard in the weight class of 132. Lovington had 3 state champions with Avery Aranda in 181 weight class, Emily Andujo in 198, and Camila Paisan at 220. As for the 5A champs in the girls bracket, it's Campbell Foster from Carlsbad in a 181 weight class and Brisa Hernandez from Roswell in 220 weight class. On to the boys division, we start off in the 4A bracket with Tommy Lopez from Portales in 181 weight class and RJ Evans also from Portales in the super heavyweight class. On to the 3A division, Nimi had a 2 champ, that being Alex Sanchez in 181 and Matthew Sao at 198. And coming from deep in the Mexico desert is Elijah Chavez from Gel at 220. It also ended with Portales taking home the championship, followed by Lovington with a 1-point difference. And finally, it is 5A bracket is Aiden Rodriguez from Carlsbad at 114, Matthew Castillo from Roswell at 123, Brinson Awembi from Carlsbad at 181, Jeremiah Sonora from Carlsbad at 242, Jesus Ortiz from Hobbs at 275, and Jeremiah Vargas, also a kid from Carlsbad, at 301. Congrats to everybody who competed this year. Moving on to the next report is MLB, and man, we have seen a huge shift in rankings from this week alone. If you remember from last week, the Dodgers were on top of the MLB rankings, but they have dragged to the 5th ranking in the season. Right now, the top team to beat are the San Diego Padres, sitting with a 9-3 season so far. Right behind them in second are the San Francisco Giants at 8-3, and third are the Los Angeles Angels sitting comfortably at 7-3, with the Philadelphia Phillies having the same win-to-loss ratio, sitting in 4th, and in 5th, like I said, are the Dodgers with 9-4. The competition being fierce so early into the season, it's hard to tell who will take on top. Still holding on in first in the rankings for the Kentucky Derby is journalism. He was sired by Curlin and the Mayor Mopetism from Uncle Mo. This past Saturday, journalism raced at the 2025 Anita Derby, taking home another first place win. With nothing finalized, journalism still has a possibility to race in the Kentucky Derby. If not beat out by his other competitors, his rating is currently 7.87 out of 10. If you are looking for journalism on the track, his jockey silks will be cream with red strips and checkers with an apple in the center of his back. Currently holding second in the ranks is Sovereignty, another 3-year-old colt. He was sired into the Mischief and a mare named Crowned from Bernardini. His next possible race along with journalism is the Kentucky Derby. Sovereignty's rating is a 7.53 out of 10, and his jockey silks are blue with white stripes on the sleeves. We will cover who is holding top 5 this Friday. Moving on to softball, ENMU just wrapped up a 4-game series on Monday, and while the Lady Hounds played well and won 3 games, it was the 4th one that broke the potential winning streak. Throughout the series, we saw ENMU and Western New Mexico University go head-to-head throughout the entire weekend, with ENMU taking the win by just a few points. It wasn't until the last game on Monday where WNMU turned the tables and took the win against the Hounds. The next matchup for the Lady Hounds is Midwestern State University, and I'll report on that game next week. Well, that's all the sports I have for you today, but don't change that channel, because we'll be right back with Corbin and Marcos right after the break.